Greetings, my brothers. Greetings, my sisters. So, I come to you as a redhead wearing a red shirt. That's like, really, you're not supposed to do that. Because redheads, as Conan O'Brien has made it clear, they have pasty complexions. And they don't look good in red. But this is salmon, so I can get away with it. Let's talk about discussion 1, shall we? So what's the first thing you need to do in order to get started on discussion 1? Well, there's actually 3 or 4 things you need to do, right? It's just one of those things, you know? You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. So, firstly, you need to read chapters 1 and 2 in Easy Writing Skills. And that's this book right here by Longknife. Her name is not Short Lightsaber, okay? People keep asking me. No, it's not Short Colt 45, okay? It's Longknife is her name. Page 16 and 17 will give you some tips on getting started with a free writing assignment. To some extent, this is a free writing assignment, meaning got a little bit of stream of consciousness thing going on here, right? Your thoughts on it. But I do want you to polish it up in terms of punctuation, in terms of grammar, and paragraphing. So it's great practice for the essays, right? I like you to think of your discussions as mini essays. You know, like you've got mini me, you've got mini essays. What else could you want, right? Minivan, mini bus, short bus. That's not politically correct. I can't say that. I didn't really say that. Okay, let's get back to it. So, first thing you need to do is read chapters 1 and 2, then read the instructions for essay 1. You should be good there, right? Definitely do that. Then you find 2 sources for your topic. You go in, boom, you find an independent news site that looks sort of interesting to you. You're surfing around, right, on your longboard. Longknife, no, not Longknife's before the longboard. You're surfing on your keyboard. Then you get to an independent news site, maybe from the list that I have recommended, or if you have one that you like, you can email me and ask, hey, you know, is this going to work, do you think? I'm generally offering advice because I don't like to say no when it comes to these kind of things. I just like to say, well, this is my way of turning down someone who says, can I use this website on skateboards for essay 1? And I'll say, well, I don't want to say you can't, but you're going to have problems finding a minimum word count there. A reputable journal format, an article, and you're not going to really find stuff like that in the major news media, right? You'll find it maybe in Skateboarder magazine or something like that. But and I'll say I just don't think you can pull it off. I don't think I could pull it off. That's my way of saying, don't do it, man. Don't try it. It's too hard. It's too perilous. Your grade might suffer, right? So then you read, you find your 2 sources. You find your indie source. You surf on there. You find a topic that interests you. Then you go hunting for it in the mainstream media. Maybe you have to switch to another topic because you don't find anything in the mainstream media. I mean, for me, it's old hat. I immediately know what the mainstream media's been writing about but not everybody does, right? I'm a news junkie. I walk by, I go to Starbucks. I just can't help looking at the New York Times sitting there, even though I don't respect the Times. I don't respect the Times. I'm sorry, I just don't. But I read it. And I enjoy disrespecting it in my own mind. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move on. Okay, B. Okay, now you've found your 2 sources. Now basically you're discussing your impressions, your educated impressions on those on the sources when you've read them, both sources. Maybe you gather a third, that's above and beyond, but I recommend it. You get that 3rd source and make that 3rd source either independent or indie or mainstream, and you get that extra ammo to back up your point of view on it, right? Because what are those 2 balls you're juggling? Remember? You're juggling comparison contrast with independent and corporate news through the vehicle of an actual topic. That's how you do it. You're comparing the 2, but you got to have a vehicle to get there, and that's your topic. So don't forget to type out your practice thesis statement. If you don't, you won't get full credit for the assignment. So that is part C, that thesis statement. And what's the other thing that you should do to get full credit? You won't get full credit if you don't respond to 2 other discussions, right? And if you just write a short little, like, 2-word, 3-word, 4-word response, you're not going to get full credit for that. You've got to articulate something. Think of it sort of like you're critiquing an essay, right? In an essay peer review workshop, you're kind of critiquing the ideas, you're reacting to them. Don't just always say, "Oh, great, love your idea, that's so cool, ha ha ha, I'm into that too," or something. Try to be substantial. Try to talk about the writing, talk about, analyze what they're saying. Please don't, get personal. It's not about that. It's about the ideas, and it's about the writing. And it's okay to comment on the writing. Don't cut it to shreds and make them feel terrible in the first week. But if you see think of a couple of constructive comments that you can offer, that's great, And then also some thoughts on the topic would be really cool too. And it's kind of a cop-out to say, well, I was going to respond to another discussion, but I went to a discussion and I didn't have any thoughts on it. Well, dude, there are so many discussions in here. You don't have to write on the first one you go to. You can write on one where you have some thoughts on it. Okay, and as always, please feel free to email me. I'm here for you. And I guess that's about all I have to say. So have fun. Remember, what did I say last time? It's only a grade, man. Have fun. Isn't that awful when a teacher says that? Have fun with it. And then you're thinking, geez, man, why do you say have fun? My grade is writing on it. But seriously, though, in here, let's talk a little bit about grades before I sign out. Now, grades have nothing to do with my opinion on the topic, as I've said before. It has to do with your writing. And I actually amp up my way of ascertaining, your grade. I'm more critical. I have more things to really analyze at the end of the term, because I expect you to be a better writer from all the exercises we've done and all the advice you've gathered and everything else, and my comments on your other 2 essays. So, essay 1, I certainly don't grade it as hard as essay 2, and nowhere near as hard as essay 3. So please don't get writer's block. Don't freak out. And I'm here for you if you need me. And you can set up a teleconference too. That's always good. So it's all about interaction in here. Connectivity and interaction. Kirk out.